and come to advance, y'all. What's up? 7:58. Good to see you. It's your friend James Shaw. Happy Wednesday. It's Friday here in Pivot Shift Ahead because it is our last call of the week. We are taking the Thursday the 3rd and Friday the 4th off. It's going to be like a washout here in Tampa Bay for 4th of July. So we're going to have some rain and hang out in the crib. That's what we're going to do. But I hope you have a wonderful 4th of July holiday. And I hope that when we return on Monday, you have all your fingers. I just want you to stay safe out there. So have a good 4th of July weekend. We are putting the final touch on listing month. We did 4.5 weeks of calls about the listing journey because I just want you to take as many listings as possible. Week one was this filling your lead pipeline. Week two was going from pipeline to appointment. Week three was getting the listing when you're on the appointment. Week four was market and manage the listing. Once you take it, let's sell it. And then this week we have done this, how do you turn listings into more listings? And we talked about getting it to closing as well, but we talked about bulletproofing the transaction. But today I want to talk about you sold it, how do you get more of them? How do you leverage the sold listing to take more listings? That is going to be our focus today. But before we do that, something good. Artist Porter, good morning. Are you there? There we
I'm
go.
sorry.
You're good.
I
You're
thought I
good.
put my hand down. But I do have something good I wanted to
Well,
share.
tell us. We want to hear it.
James, I know yesterday you were saying that, you're taking the constructive criticism and things like that. And I appreciate you for growing with us and everything. But you are like, I don't get offended because you're not that much older than me. But you are like my Mr. Rogers. Um I wake up every day. I look forward to these calls, and I dealt with a lot of depression last year. And so I've been on this call every day this year, and it has made such a difference in my life. And, we can change our goals. We sometimes don't get to what we need, but the fact that I can wake up every day happy, I'm so blessed. I have all the things that I need, and I get to hang out with my friend James every morning, and this community that you've created. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate you. I will receive that as the most tremendous compliment somebody could pay me. And truth is, once I get home from the call, I change my shirt and change my shoes. That's a true story. I put on a different pair of shoes and I change my shirt. So I am kind of like a. And did anybody else go to that Mr. Rogers movie and absolutely sob in the theater watching it? The one with Tom Hanks a while back. I mean, like I sobbed in a ball, curled up, that movie. So thank you for the compliment. Thank you for being here. And yeah, several of you reached out to me yesterday. I love all of you that reached out, and I'm always open to the feedback. Just be nice when you give it. Ronnie, you're next. Good morning.
Good morning. So we're in for a storm this week. Be prepared, if not. And I just want to say, if it wasn't for this call, I would have never met Valerie, and what a tribute it is to have had her with us. And guys, we are family, and that's the thing I want to take away. The thing with Phil Jones, I was very impressed. Thank you, James, for bringing him back to us. What I correlate with in 2014, I watched Diana Kokoska get up on stage in front of about 1,000 agents, and she said, "I haven't taught a listing presentation in 15 years, so go easy on me." And they tried to knock her off the stage, and that's when I realized it's her DNA. That's why she was called the Queen of Scripts. And that's what Phil Jones is. It's his DNA. 25 years of doing this. My goodness. So thank you, James, for always keeping us one step ahead of this industry that we love.
It's my pleasure. You're the ones keeping us a step ahead because you're the ones that add all the value on the call, and I appreciate that. And I remember that day with Diana. I was in the room too, Ronnie. That day was so good. And she just knew that listing presentation backwards. And they weren't nice to her. They were giving her objections like crazy. I remember it. Ronnie, well done. Carrie Double, you get the last one. Then we got to put a bow on listing month. Go ahead, Carrie.
This is another one for you, so I'm sorry, but thank you because I did my table builders event this past Saturday, which I learned at Elevate, and I planned it in 1 week because I was dragging my feet. And some friends drilled me with questions like, "Who's going to be there that I don't know? I'm stressed," and I had three different circles of people. And by the end, they were like, "I don't know why I was so stressed. Like I've known everyone in this room for my whole life. You did an amazing job. So it was really cool to see that play out.
I
So
love
thank you.
that. That is taking what you learn and putting into action. That's from Alice Daly. She has a thing called Table Builders, which is just really kind of getting closer and deeper relationships with your database. And she taught about that at Elevate, and I love that you've implemented it and it worked for you. Carrie, I'm proud of you. You're great. All right, let's put a bow on listing month. We did all of this work to get to today, and here's where I want you to think of it. What we did, our time that we spent together on this project was like contract to close. It was the same amount of time that you would spend taking a contract and getting it to closing. And so I'm just glad that you have been along on this ride with us. But I think that what we have, oh, hold on, somebody came off mute, is an opportunity to take closed listings and turn them into more listings. And I looked at a couple of different spots, right, that we could do this. First, reviews. Are you getting reviews from the people that you work with? Next, are you asking for referrals? Third, how are you marketing the fact that you sold it both, in the neighborhood or on your social? And then what are you doing specifically in the neighborhood, circle prospecting or door knocking to let them know? And then are you getting testimonials? That's what I want to talk about today. Raise your hand and share. Janine, start us off with taking a closed listing and turning it into more listings.
Okay, so first I wanted to say thank you, but I know it's late, but I wanted to say thank you because I did exactly what you had taught us from June 1st all the way to June 30th. So the lead generation, the doing the circle prospecting, doing the open house the way it should have been done, having the conversation with the client, putting everything and all the efforts, thinking outside the box, including talking to all the agents that have been sitting on the market for 70 days or so and having to do a collaboration of an open house. And it brought all the neighbors. I signed up, Ronnie, I think it was, he mentioned about this, the neighborhood postings. I did that too. So putting everything together, and we lined up the contract full price in an area where it's having around $40,000-$50,000 less than asking price. We have an offer ratified yesterday, and what are we doing to get more listings? We're doing what we call the landing 360. It's a 10-step process, and it started with Maria Sims. And I know I'm taking a long time, but I just wanted to say that for each listing, we're getting three more. And it's a process. We start with an endorsement letter, testimonial, uh, thank you. There's a thank you note that we're sending to all the neighbors saying, I'm not thank you, a welcome card. So they can, instead of us going door knocking, remember back in the days? So instead of us door knocking, we're putting it in the mail and saying, in case you want to welcome your neighbor. So there's a 9-step process that is giving us 3 listings and a couple buyers. So,
All
and
right,
I'm
I'm
not.
going to have Vicky. Vicky's going to reach out to you because I want to learn about this system and document it. But what you just went through was making me think we could take you could take that listing and turn it into like a case study and testimonial that you share with other potential sellers and on your social media. Capture the story of that house. The sellers worried about whether or not they could get the price based on what was going on in the neighborhood. But talk about how you priced it strategically, what you did from an open house standpoint to get people in. You had 18 people come in the open house and you had this many showings the first weekend, and how you helped them prep the house and position the house and price the house so that
Mhm.
ultimately you got to the finish line when other homes in the neighborhood weren't getting there. Like you could create a full story,
Yeah.
a case study, a social media sort of posting around that one story that would bring you more opportunity, Janine.
Yeah, well, we even did the ice cream truck. So it was also really, really cool to see all the neighbors. They're like, "Oh God, I didn't know." And a guy from another company, the not can't say the name.
You can say
He's like,
whatever you want on this call.
okay, so he's from Remax, and he came. He's a neighbor. He said, "I've been in this neighborhood for 30 years, and I've never seen anything like this. Would you mind sharing it with me?" And I'm like, of course, I can share it with you, no problem. And I also did in every flyer, I said, do you know what assumable loans are? And the phone was ringing. What is that? What is that? What is that? So, and I'm the talker,
Yeah.
okay? But
Yeah.
Miguel is the brains.
Hmm.
So he is doing a study case with the name of each listing and recording it in ChatGPT. What are the things that we're doing right? What are the things that we're not doing? And how can we improve? So each listing has a study case. So anyway, he doesn't want to show his face.
It's all right. We know what he looks like. Listen, Janine, thank you. I'm gonna have Vicky reach out. Thank you so much. We're gonna bounce
Thank you.
around a little bit. Orly, it's a Wednesday. We haven't heard from you this week, so you're gonna go next. Good morning.
Sorry it took so long.
You're good, Janine.
Good morning, everybody. So, besides getting testimonials at every opportunity, I don't just wait for after the closing. Every opportunity that I'm speaking to the seller about what's going on, but they got the CO, they're happy. At that moment that they're happy, I say to them, you could do me a really huge favor. If you could just take 2 minutes and go onto my Google and give me a Google review, we'd be happy to send you a link if that's easier and get the testimonial. If they don't do it, they absolutely get a link afterwards. But one of the things that we do consistently with the postcard is we do a just sold postcard, and I just pulled it up because I have to remember what I did. So it says, did you hear about your neighbors at 1 Chestnut Street in Wanacue? Your neighbors called us looking to sell the property and also wanting to maximize the value of their home. Scan the code to see what your home would be worth to get in touch with us. A buzzworthy launch. I used my network of more than 500 realtors in the KW office to get the word out about the home, hosting an open house, and additionally getting announced within the brokerage and beyond through my social media channels. Thousands of people know about our home for sale. We were able to market the property to buyers and see past the work that needed to be done and see the true potential it has. Masterful negotiation. The owner needed to sell the house and remove all of the contents, so we used our resources to have the contents of the home removed, some of which were kept by the buyers as historical gems, as well as get top dollar for the historical property simultaneously. I got to work by leveraging social media and email marketing. We were able to attract a lot of out of town interested buyers to see the home's value and beautiful location. We created a social media campaign with over 4,000 followers. Multiple offers. After the launch, we received multiple offers, and throughout our hands on, top notch service, we helped our client achieve a great price at a timeline that made sense for them while maintaining the integrity of the historical home and continuing to make our clients happy with their real estate needs. So we always outline, and we have those 5 things. Your neighbors called us, a buzzworthy launch, masterful negotiations, I got to work, multiple offers. So we're taking them through the specific story, but with everything that we do, which is almost the same for everybody. It's not, yes, it is tailored a little bit, but you want to let them know what you did.
Yeah, no doubt. And a lot of people are like, can you send it to me? Blah, blah, blah. Listen, she just gave you the framework that you can't cut and paste that and put it in yours because it doesn't apply to you. But she gave you the framework of what to put in. Here's what we did. Here's how we did it. And here's how it helped them. That's the framework of it. You can go create this. And the last thing too on reviews, I think it's important we ask for reviews, and the timing at which we do it is important. And you talked about doing it early. Once you get the inspection stuff negotiated and they're happy, that's a great time to ask for a review. Once we get a clear to close, that's a great time to ask for a review. Ask for a review when they're happy about what's going on, and then remind them what you've done to help them because maybe you've done something super great. So just give them a reminder of talking points that they could put in the review about how well you communicated with them or how quickly you sold it or how close to list price you got them or whatever it is. But just let them know that, hey, I would really appreciate it. While things are fresh, would you be willing to go on and give me a review? So great share, Orly. Good stuff. Always
Thank you.
appreciate
And
you.
also, they're busy. They're busy. As soon as
That's
they're
right.
closed, they're moving, they're unpacking, they forgot you. So do it early.
100%. Fiona Owens, good morning.
Good morning. So what I've been doing with my listings, I think we got this from Maria Sims and Inspire, which is the golden letter. I send that letter out from the seller, introducing the listing and just kind of making it personalized to them, how they've enjoyed living in the neighborhood, all that stuff. inviting, their friends and family in case they know somebody who wants to move into the neighborhood. That has been very helpful. I've had people reach out to me in the neighborhood. And then circling back after the house is sold, just saying, hey, we had a lot of interest. We got this under contract in X amount of days. So in case you're thinking about moving, this is a good time to sell. So that's been working a lot for me, that golden letter.
That is Maria Sims' letter. It is in the portal. It's in our Act 2 series for those of you who are looking for it. And it is a letter from the seller. It's really smart from Maria Sims. Thank you, Fiona. I'm glad you're using it. Byron Mims, hello. You got to talk to Phil Jones yesterday. That was cool.
It was cool. I enjoyed it. Well, obviously, I don't think it's any secret. What I'm going to say is door knock around those listings that you sold. I think it's an easy one because, I mean, basically, you're just going and saying, hey, tell them the story. We helped sell your neighbor's house down there. There was multiple buyers, hopefully. Like, unfortunately, only one buyer can get it. We know there's more buyers looking in this neighborhood. Who do you know that's looking to sell? They probably say no. And then, have you thought about selling? And it just go from there. Again, I think showing up in person makes a difference versus not that postcards and stuff don't work, but it just sets you apart immediately.
Yeah, I agree. And offer some sort of home evaluation, equity analysis, CMA, whatever you want to do. I think it'd be a smart strategy. If you don't want to door knock, are you in the Facebook group in the community? Can you make a post in the Facebook group? Do you have the numbers? Can you circle prospect? But getting face to face, really, really important. Thanks, Byron. Great share. Mignon.
I was actually going to share something about whenever you're in the contract phase and it feels like you don't have anything to share at all whatsoever. Make sure you have the conversation with your clients, whether it's the buyer or the seller, and just say, hey, we're in that really wonky time. Just wanted to let you know that everything is on point. I've communicated with the lender, the attorney, and also the other cooperating agent. Everybody's still ready to go. And that way everybody feels like you're still doing a job and it's not like it's under contract and then, oh, we just move on, just looking for the money.
It's good. Mignon's about relationship. Somebody put in the chat, hey, how do we do this with a buyer? Easiest thing that you all could do with a buyer that you probably aren't doing right now is after the home is closed and they've moved in and the listing agent has taken their sign out of the yard, you put your sign in it because you're the one that brought the buyer. So that the seller has taken their sold sign out and you get a sign that says, we brought the buyer, and you stick that thing in the yard for 30 days. You get the buyer is going to agree to that. You sign off. It's the buyer's house. Listing agent sold it. You brought the buyer. You go put a sign in the yard that says, we brought the buyer with your information so they know who brought the buyer. We did that all the time. It's a fun idea. Buyer agrees to it. You're not taking credit for the list part of it. You're taking credit for the buy part of it, which you represented. So you do it after closing. Seller sign is gone. Your sign says, we brought the buyer, and it has your information. Go stick it in the yard for 30 days. You're in good shape. Maria Sims, you're next. Hello.
Good morning. I love that. And don't forget, you can send just sold postcards as the buyer's agent too. So um, I think there's at least three like of the best opportunities to market. It's a listing to get more leads. It's during the pre-launch season of your listing, ready to have open house area of your listing, and then also just sold. So I think you have to kind of break those sections down just so you can optimize getting the most. So like the seller letter, I'm so glad people are using that. And one of the things that we've tried to do a little bit better on the seller letter is taking that, and now it's all about our follow-up game. So having those sellers, when they actually come to an open house, we then add them to our adopted seller program where we're sending them neighborhood specifics, area specifics, and then, asking them, hey, do you want us to set up a link for your free equity report? So it's one plussing, right? So once you get one layer of marketing going, add on that next layer. And I think that's how you just keep growing. Just sold postcards. Yes, it is all about the stories. I had read an article how postcards were outdated, and I was like, well, why are they working for me? And I realized it's because I'm not sending a postcard. card, I'm telling them a story. I'm telling them about the home we sold or the person we helped right size to find, their home. And then like the VIP neighbor preview, that gives you the opportunity to meet your neighbors, door knocking. And at the end of the day, to me, it's all about relationships. So the number one thing that I would say I haven't heard yet is every time I list a house, every single time, I think about who do I know that's near that area. And I know they do geo farming, but this is Maria farming. I go and I call that person. And if I'm too busy beforehand or if there's too many people, I split it in half. And I say, I'm calling them when I list it and I'm calling this section after I sell it. And I call and I say, hey, I helped Susie and Doug buy the house down the street. It's a 4-bedroom cottage. And I just wanted to let you know you're going to love them as neighbors. Or I'm helping them, I'm getting their help to help me find a neighbor. It's a good way to stay in touch with your clients, your customers, and even if they've never bought or sold a house, your people. And it makes them feel special because you think about them when you drive down the street. So it's all about relationships. And I just think you just keep building off of that.
That's good stuff. System. That's what Maria Sims has right there. A system. Maria farming. Daniel, you get the last word.
Good morning. Thank you so much, James. So, the owner of our market center, the amazing Dana Gentry, we just had a huge roundtable of listings and navigating the listing market. And she said, you really need to dive in and be the market expert. Adjust how you're interacting with them. Foster the relationship. Reread the Shift book, she said, and then reread the MREA. So one thing we need to make sure that we're doing as agents is to not be undereducated. Step inside the seller's market, step inside their mindset, understand what they think and what they perceive the market as, and inform them. Educate them, be the expert. Adjust to our communication was the second one. Increase the communication. We're heading into a different market here in Ohio, especially Columbus. We're way behind than Florida and other people. So pick up the phone, talk to them, send them updates in the email, do more communicating with them. It's no more going in there and also saying, this is what our list price is. This is our coming to market price. People are having a hard time about list price and what comps we're going off of. So we just need to be making sure that we're having good communication with them. We are the market expert, and taking more listings, that is the key to it. Thanks, James.
You got it. Thank you. Great share. Great call. Great series. Thank you to everybody who contributed this month on our listing month series. It's good stuff. Every single call is on the YouTube channel. Um, you can go watch the whole series right in a row. Every single call has its own individual downloadable one pager for Inspire members inside the portal. You just go to the portal, you click on Inspire included courses, click listing month. Every call is there, along with some of them have various tools in them, and then there is a one pager to download with the ideas that were shared on the call. Some have specific scripts, some have specific systems. So you can go look all that stuff up in the portal. And I trust that this has helped you, to help you get a listing focus this month. We're off Thursday and Friday. We are back and better than ever on Monday. Have a great and safe and enjoyable 4th of July weekend, and we'll see you Monday. You got your inspiration. Go put in the perspiration. Bye-bye.
Thank you, James.